Alright guys, now what we have here is the mouse. And the mouse, what we are gonna do is, I'm just turning my phone to not disturb. No, so we are gonna make the glasses because they are kind of a big part of our model, basically. So let's make one part of the glasses, and we of course will mirror it to the other side. So, but I'm noticing here on the head we have an issue. Let's go to sculpt mode. Let's go to sculpt mode. Yeah, to sculpt mode just, and fix this issue with our flatten brush, which is our scrape peaks brush. In this brush is number 3. We put the 3 shortcut. Let's see. We don't see it, but it's 3 basically. And now this is nice. I will not smooth it anymore, because if I smooth it I will mess it up, and we don't want that, at least not for now. Maybe later, we'll see. And now we'll go to object mode and we will add a sphere. Yeah, basically interesting. So let me guide you through the process of this. So my idea is the following: we will add a sphere, then we will smash the sphere only on one axis, and it will become a flattened sphere, but not flattened to the absolutely flattened, but it will be like something like this, like glasses, you know, very nice. And then from the sides of the sphere we'll duplicate one row of edges, one edge loop, and then we will resize it a little bit. And then we will extrude and we'll do some stuff, and we'll make the border of the glasses. I'm not sure how it's called, the border, whatever. So now first we need to make a sphere. I don't need this 3D cursor to be here, so I'll go Shift and C, Shift C here, Shift C, and it's there. So this is the default position of the 3D cursor. It's good to be there. So now I will Shift A to add a mesh. Shift A, in my language, in Bulgaria, this is the letter A. This is the first letter of the alphabet, like A is the first letter, but we call it A. And it's, in English, it should be A too, because when you say absolutely with A, or add with A, and the letter is called A. Wait a minute. So wait should be W, and this letter A, but it's white. Yeah, it's like this. So sometimes it's called A, sometimes it's called A. But in my language it's always A. So A, add, Shift A, add, mesh, sphere, and we see this sphere here. Absolutely, in the minute we are making this sphere, in the second that we're making this sphere, we go to tab before we do anything. And now I would like to rotate this sphere, because after I smash it, I want to take an edge loop, and it will be a little bit difficult to take the edge loop from here, because it ends here and we have to take 2 edge loops. So I would like to rotate it 90 degrees on the red axis. Red axis will be our pivot of rotation. So this is the x-axis. So how we'll do that? We press R because we want to rotate. Okay, but before that we press escape, and I will disable the snap. it started to snap, so that's why it looks like awful. So I press R to rotate, then I press X to lock it on the x-axis only, and I press 90, just 9 and 0, and that's it. Yeah, I don't think the numbers are shown here, some of them. So 9, 0, it's shown, okay. But this is, yeah, you see, 90 degrees on x-axis. Amazing results, amazing results. Do you see it? Yeah, 90 degrees on x-axis. Just here, this. See? Okay. Now, we'll have to smash it, and we will smash it on y-axis. So, S to scale, Y, I pressed Y now, and now I'll press it only, I smash it only on the y-axis, and I will smash it pretty good. Not too much though, like this, it's fine. then I want to move it forward only on y-axis. Lock it on y. So I'll press G to move, and I can move it like this without pressing y. But I think I need some more practice on moving on the axis, so I press G, Y, and then go here. I don't know why Y isn't shown here, but whatever. It's Y, this one, Y, 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 Y. I don't know what it does by itself, but... Okay, now, we have this. This seems fine. So, now this will be our glass, but we need the border too. So, I will go to 2, letter 2, or the number 2, and select the edges. So, double click on the edges. I will leave my... and take the mouse. I will leave the pen and take the mouse. And now, we want to duplicate this with Shift D, of course. Shift D is always duplicate. Everybody knows that. You know that. I know that. Everybody knows that. So Shift D, but we want it to stay there. We don't want to move it. So if you press Shift D and start moving your mouse, it will go away. We don't want that. So if you do that, you just press the right mouse button. So not the left one, the right mouse button, and you will accept the duplication, and it will stay in the place. Now I will resize it a little bit with S, and a little bit just to see it. So now we have this. This will be the border. By the way, I want to take the border and put it on another mesh, because it's inside this mesh now. If we go out of edit mode and to object mode, if we move, we will move the glass with the border. But I want only the glass to be the separate object. So I will go to edit mode again, and I have to select one of the objects to separate them. So I will select the border only, and now I will right click and separate selection. Basically we can press P, but P is too far away and I always forget about P. So right click, separate here in the bottom, selection, it's over. So now it's another selection. We have to tab out, tab, see? Tab out to go to object mode, and then select just one of those objects, for example. Let's select the border and go to edit mode again. Now I will double click on it to select it, or I can just A to select it. Make sure you're in this mode, the edge mode, not the vertex mode, not the other mode, but the other modes will not work, by the way. The vertex mode will work, but we don't want that. We want the edge mode. And select the whole thing with A, or double click on it. And now we will extrude it on Y-axis only. We'll extrude it on Y. Let me show you. So, it's here, like this. Okay, it looks... by the way, let me see. 7, if I press 7, I will look exactly on top. If I press 1, I will look exactly from the front. If I press Ctrl 1, I will look exactly from the back. But those 1 and 7 are only on the numpad, not on the regular keys. Only on the numpad. So make sure you know that. So 9, if I press 9, I'll look from the front. Why? No, okay. I press 3, I'll look from the side. Control 3 from the other side. 3, Control 3. So, okay. I wanna extrude it forward, only on Y-axis, which is the green one. I see it here, up here. You see? Green is Y. And here, this is the green line we see here. So, I'll press E to extrude, and I will move my mouse and see what happens. Then I'll press Y, and then I will just adjust my extrusion to this. I don't want it to be much more than this. And you can adjust it here later. I mean, after this, you can flip normals or do whatever. By the way, the normals now will be a little bit tough. I will show you now what I mean. See, some normals are inverted, some normals are okay, some normals are inverted. How do we fix that? We press A to select everything. Maybe we go to face select, and then we go to mesh. Let's remove our mesh normals and recalculate outside, which is Shift N. Let's try Shift N, by the way. Shift N. It doesn't work. What's happening here? So mesh, normals, Alt N. Let's try Alt N. Alt N, recalculate outside. Okay, now it's good. Because if you just flip them, they will just, those that are okay will be flipped, and the other ones that were flipped will be okay, and it's not gonna work. So for us, all the normals should point in one direction, which will be outside, and this is what we have now. By the way, I think our perspective is too much here. Let me see if I'm right. I'll go to N, I press N to get this menu, this side menu here, and then I go to View, and yes, it's 50 millimeters, the focal length. The focal length should be, for characters, around 85 to 100 millimeters. 85, enter. Alright, so now it's better, and we will, let's turn on our mouse. Alright, so now we have a border. Let's move this border, press A to select everything, and move it back a bit. So G, Y, G to move on the Y-axis, and move it a little bit back. Of course, you can always use the move or this gizmo here, the transform gizmo, and use it because it will be easier for you as a beginner to use the gizmo instead of the shortcuts, because there are a lot of shortcuts to remember in Blender, I know. And yes, but you have to kind of start remembering some of them. The most important ones, of course, Shift A, Control Tab to change between the modes, Tab to go into edit mode and back, and others, yes. Control R, of course, to make an edge loop, E to extrude, and stuff like this. So now what we can do is extrude this, for example, outward. Let's try to extrude, and you see what happens. If I press E to extrude, in edit mode, of course, extrusion happens, but it's not what I want. I want just to make thickness. I will make it later with the modifier, but I just want to show you how extrude works by default. It works like extruding just in one position and goes. We don't want that. What we want is to extrude it by the normals. Where the normals of each polygon is pointing, the extrusion will happen. This. How to do it? Alt E. And then you will see this menu when you press Alt E. You see? Alt E here. And then you see this menu. And extrude face along normals is the most used option. This is the longest option, the second one. So I press it, and then when I move, you see what happens. And you will have to use this option sometimes when you're doing extrusion, when you're doing hard surface modeling. So I'll press escape because I don't want to extrude it. I want to put a modifier which is solidify, which is one of the 5 modifiers we use. And then I will adjust the thickness to go like this a little bit. Yes, by the way, here in the middle, it doesn't work very well. I'm not particularly sure why. Let's try something. Okay, are those good polygons? We have an issue here. Let's see. Yeah, we have some problem. We have to fix it. So I will do this. In order to get rid of the problem, I will go to tree, select one loop, only this loop, and then I will try to move it back, this loop. Oh, we have some... the extrusion is still here, so I have to Control Z a couple of times. Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. I didn't get rid of the extrusion, so extrusion was still here. I was showing you, and if you don't do this, you will be okay. So now solidify should work fine. Let me see. Of course, we have to turn it on. Yes, it's working amazingly. But since my extrusion was still there, it was problematic. So now I have this. I will press A and move it back a little bit just to be on the center. Okay, I think it's fine. Let's press 3 on the numpad. Numpad. Okay, now it's fine. So this is one of our glasses. So let me show you how we'll proceed now with the glasses. So first, what we'll do is get out of edit mode. I will select both of them with shift. Now we are in object mode. Both of them are selected. You can select them here also with shift if you know who they are, which are they. And then we'll press 1 to go to front to exactly to the front. I will use the scroll wheel to zoom out a little bit. I will show my image plane to see what happens. I will press Alt Z, and now I will adjust the glasses. Press S and make it small until it, and then G to put it into position, and the glass will be around this area, and it will be around this size. Okay, and then I will move so I can see what happens. Alt Z, and then I will G move it forward a little bit, and then maybe G move it like this and a little bit outward. So this will be the size of the thing basically. But now we have moved it, and now see the point where the origin is. And if we add a modifier which is the mirror modifier, it will be an issue. So we will first Control A and then apply all transformations. So the orange dot goes directly into the center, and then we can use the mirror modifier. Let's use it. Mirror. And it's only on the other part. So I will select this and then this. No, first the glass and then the border. And then I will go here to the modifier and copy to selected. And then it should be okay. Yes, when you have, I told you with the fingers, when you have few meshes and one of them has your modifier that you want, you select all of them with shift, and then the last one you select this with the modifier, and then you go to the modifier and copy to selected. That's the way to do it. Now I will select the glasses, the glass, and then I'll press right click, shade smooth, the first option, shade smooth. So now it's smooth. It doesn't have more polygons or something, but this just looks smooth. The normals are smooth. We don't need polygons basically for this. For the borders, or borders, are they called borders? I'm not sure. Okay, but I will move them a little bit on the side. Okay, I cannot do this from here. Let me think how to move them so the mirror will stay. I have to go to edit mode and move them from edit mode so the mirror will stay. But in edit mode, I don't know if I can edit both of them together. No, I can't. So I will move the border, and then I will select this and move this too. Okay, let me just... Okay, I will select everything. Now I'm in edit mode of both those objects, which is interesting. And I can move it, and I think this distance is enough. This distance is completely enough, and we are okay. Now we want to make transparency. Let me tap out of it. And how to make transparency? So if we go to render, you will notice, let's remove the plane. We don't need it for now. We'll notice that we have nothing. We are just dark. Why? Because we don't have a light. Let's add a light quickly. Let's quickly add a light. So of course, Shift A, it's adding everything. So a camera is everything. Light, we add a light, and we'll add a point light. It will be in the middle. So I'll just start moving my mouse, and okay, I will press G and move it, because obviously it will not move by itself. So with G, I will move it. I will adjust my camera and move it, and I will put it a little bit on the side here of the object. And then we have to increase, of course, the intensity of this light because it's too low. We'll go to the light options here, this bubble, not bubble, light bulb in here, press it, and then the power should be like more like 200. It depends on the size of your object. If your object is bigger than mine, and it probably will be, you need to go, sometimes I need to go 1500 watts or 2000 watts, 2000 watts. It's like a very good heater. So yeah, but sometimes you need to do it. And the radius, I need to make it bigger, so the shadow will be not so sharp. Because this is a cartoon character, I want the shadow to not be sharp. And the next video, I may explain to you how to put an HDR image in your scene. Whether we're gonna use it on our render or not, we'll see, but it's good to have it. The glasses, by the way, we haven't finished with them, but in the next video I will show you how to make transparency on the glasses, how to make them look like glass in the render, because this is the render view. This is how it will look when we render it. This is the view, the viewport view. By the way, you can make transparent the object, only one object, for example the glasses, in the viewport view also. Very little percentage of people know that, but it's a little bit tricky. It's very easy, but it's tricky. It's I will show you. You have to put material and then go to one hidden option there. Okay, see you in the next video. Hopefully you are kinda happy with what we are doing here.